BDS are arguably the best team in the world right now, taking out the recent LAN in a pretty dominant form, beating some of NA and EU's best teams. And while they have two incredible players in Mark by 8 and Extra, their star player, and the player many believe to be the best player in the world right now, is this man right here, Monkey Moon. Now, Monkey Moon is every part mechanical as he is calculated and methodical. A mastermind to watch on the field, and half of what makes him so brilliant could go completely unnoticed to the general player base. But today, we have help from people who see more than the general player base. We have Johnny Boy and Gregan both giving their opinion on why Monkey Moon is so good. And from there, we're going to dive into their points and break down those aspects of his gameplay. So, without further ado, let's let the experts take over for a second.
The three things that really stand out to me when I watch Monkey Moon play are speed, efficiency, and game sense. And although some pros might be able to match him in one or even two of those categories, no one can match him in all three. And the fact that he possesses those qualities makes him completely unplayable for his opponents when he's on his game, which he consistently is. And it also makes him one of the best playmakers and goal scorers in the world. He is fast enough to beat people to the ball, he does so efficiently so he can stay active in the play, and his game sense makes him able to shut down the other team before they can even get their attack started, while also following up on his teammates incredibly quickly.
Monkey Moon's greatest strength is his boost management. He has a way of keeping his boost as high as possible, not wasting any, and picking up pads to make sure he doesn't have to rotate out of the play to pick up more.
Firstly, we will start on boost management. If you take a look at Monkey Moon at any point in the game, he will be sitting on a lot of boost. And not only that, he is maintaining it. He keeps his momentum going so efficiently so that he can keep up with the highest level of gameplay without really having to use boost until it is absolutely necessary. And when it is used, it is done so for a reason, whether that be to commit 100% to a ball, pressure with the knowledge that he is backed up by a teammate, or to deny boost from an opponent. At first glance, you wouldn't really see how well he plays around his boost and how well he manages it. But if you focus in on it for just 10-20 seconds, you'll see it. A few things Monkey Moon does to maintain his boost that you can immediately implement into your own gameplay is, firstly, the obvious, going over the small boost pads as you make your way around the field. You can make little paths as you rotate and just as you move around the pitch. There are pads everywhere, so you should be able to get at least 24 or 36 boosts from any position as you rotate out of the play, which should be enough to take you into the next play. Next, you'll notice he will quite often take a wider arc when turning around. Now, while a wider arc might be a little bit slower than a quick power slide turn, you have a much better time maintaining your momentum. With a power slide turn, the sudden change of direction brings your car to a complete stop momentarily, whereas the wide arc allows you to stay moving the entire time, gives you more room to pick up boost pads, and as a small side bonus, you will have less of a chance of accidentally cutting off your teammate because you aren't making any last second quick movements. You are safe, speedy, and you can make your way back into the play with boost to spare. Game sense is the next thing I want to focus on.
Combine Monkey Moon's boost management with his read of the play, he finds himself in positions where he can intercept the ball at any moment, and his decision making alongside that allows him to choose what is the right thing to do at any moment.
Now, of course, all pro players have an incredible sense of the game and a deep understanding of how to play each position and what the best thing to do is. But Monkey Moon is so incredibly consistent in this aspect of his gameplay that you will wonder how this man ever loses games. When you watch him play, you get a feeling that he is always where he needs to be, regardless of whether he is in comms with his team or if he's just playing with a random player in ranked. He is never out of the play and leaving his teammates to take a play all by themselves. This can be heavily tied into the last section. Because Monkey Moon is so good at maintaining his speed and boost, he is able to keep himself in the action the entire time. He reads the game, knows when he can challenge, knows when he has to play it safe and rotate back, and knows when he should cut his teammate off and apply that pressure. His boost management allows him to be useful in any position on the field, and because of that, he can take risks. And with those risks comes unpredictability. And with unpredictability, it becomes incredibly difficult for the opposing team to try and play around him. You then mix this in with the fact that he has 2 teammates who are also some of the best players in the world, and you can understand how hard it would be for a team to deal with the non-stop pressure that BDS gives out. But unfortunately, you do not have 2 teammates who are also some of the best players in the world, and the most unpredictable thing to happen in your games are whether or not your teammate is going to hit the ball or if he's going to completely miss. And so while we are all miles behind these pro players, there are ways you can easily improve your game sense. The first and the most straightforward thing to do is to go into every single game with this fully in mind, that you are wanting to improve game sense and not focus on winning. Yes, seems very obvious, but you never notice how often you are playing on autopilot, which just means that you're playing without thinking and going through the motions, until you start to really focus in. Looking for things like how your teammates are moving and where you should go to cover the space, making sure you're going over the boost pads and not leaving your teammates in the wrong position or leaving them to deal with the play by themselves, keeping enough boost to be helpful in any situation, and just being able to read the play and the general rotations of both teams. Another thing you can try is watching over a replay of one of your games from 2 different point of views. Firstly, watch it from your own point of view, because watching the same situation without having to focus on actually playing the game is going to help you identify the mistakes that you originally wouldn't have seen, whether that be how you hit the ball, where you hit the ball, how you move around the field, or where you could have made slight changes that would have helped the team a little bit more. The other point of view that is really helpful for rotations is to bring the camera all the way up and watch the whole game from a bird's eye view. All you have to do in this one is track your car as it moves around the field, and you will very clearly see where you're cutting rotation, when you aren't rotating back fast enough, and when you're making general mistakes with your positioning. Normally, game sense is a very hard thing to train. It does come with time in-game and building up an understanding of the game as it goes on around you. The more you play, the more you get used to things that can and should happen in your games, which allows you to have a better read of each play as you come to learn what to look for. But with these 2 ways of training, you can force yourself to take in information a little bit faster and give yourself an easier time building up this knowledge. Lastly, we look at efficiency and consistency.
The best way to describe Monkey Moon is efficiency. Everything he does, from his aerial technique to his boost management, is just so efficient, and it means he can stay in the play for as long as he needs to, keep pressure on, and be there at the right moments.
Now, this is a really hard one to explain. Monkey Moon is, simply enough, incredibly efficient. He has incredible mechanics, and he knows when he needs to use them and when he doesn't. You take everything this man can do, all of his skills and his strengths, and then you apply them to every single game, and you'll understand he's just too consistent. And you cannot learn consistency. So because of that, this is a hard one to talk about. But once you see a player win so many regionals, perform so well across every event, able to hold his own no matter what or who he plays against, and is able to play so well with the same 2 teammates, you have to understand just how driven and well trained he has become to learn, improve, analyze, and move forward. And so, while you cannot exactly train consistency, you can train to become consistent. The things I suggest you do if you want to build yourself to become a better player is to develop a routine set around your playstyle. Figure out your strengths and weaknesses, and then focus the first part heavily on your weaknesses, finishing up with your strengths. That way, you come out of this feeling good about yourself. Dedicate a small amount of time each day to working specifically on your routine before you head into ranked, and then focus heavily on the things you worked on in your ranked games. Then every now and then, save a replay and analyze the game to go back and figure out if what you've been working on in your training is actually coming through in your gameplay, or if there are other things you still need to work on and add to your routine. Through a consistent schedule, a willingness to improve, and time to self-analyze, you will see yourself becoming much more consistent with your general playstyle and able to keep yourself playing at a higher level. But that is going to wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that this video can give you some sort of insight into just why Monkey Moon is regarded as the best player in the world right now. A big thank you to Johnny Boy and Gregan for their words of wisdom. The links to their socials will be left in the description, so please do go check them out. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you next time.